draw out their motivations.
Hmm.
And I find that we both settle on an all cash payment, at least so far in my experiences.
Okay.
People have been willing to settle for all cash, all
And
cash.
And
Mhm.
like you said, you're getting them for now. That's something else to talk about right now, just really quickly, because this we could talk. I know that we have talked about it at length, but you were getting some resistance from your sellers when you would make your purchase offers. Now, as investors, we're not going to do anything if it doesn't make financial sense. The seller's not going to do anything if it doesn't make financial sense to them and can move them out of their current situation. Um, you were getting you were getting some resistance when you were making those cash offers. I'm curious what changed in you between that point where when you were getting resistance, people were stopping you. No, I don't want to do the deal. I don't like your offer. Versus now where you have 3 deals that are going to be coming up soon. I know you've done 6 deals in the last 4 months. So any sort of words of wisdom there?
Yeah, I like you said, I was putting the pedal to the metal, and I just kind of go full steam ahead. So when you do that, you kind of make mistakes, and I mean, basically at any speed, you're going to make mistakes, and then you kind of learn from those mistakes. You're going to always be going too far ahead, and then you kind of draw back and kind of get a broader scope of what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, I was making deals to people. Somebody would be selling a home for $8,000, and I'd making them an offer for $2,000 cash. And that's something that they didn't want to hear. So what I started doing was I started introducing my offers earlier on. Staircasing, like you say in the modules, kind of staircasing and kind of preparing them for who I am, what I'm about, and what I can do for them before I even show up at the house.
Great.
So I'm not wasting either one of our times, and that's what I was doing at first, wasting both of our times, um, because I had a number in mind and he had a totally different number in mind. And when I communicated that to him, it was almost like kind of shutting him down, or pulling the blanket over his head so or whatever. But he wasn't able to comprehend that number at all. And a lot of them got pretty mad at me. So I kind of went back to the modules and I relearned some of these things and grew from my mistakes.
Okay. So you went through the modules again. You were able to learn, and then sort of now that past all of that, every deal that you've done, every seller who you've bought a home from, at the end, were they resistant to doing the deal with you? Were they happy to do the deal with you? Were they thanking you for purchasing their home, no matter what price it was at, 10% of their asking price, 20% or more or less? Were they happy, or were any? And this is sort of, I mean, I think I know the answer, but were the sellers happy to do business with you?
They were happy to do business with me. One couple was a little bit, you know, even though they weren't showing me that they were happy, I know that they were relieved that I was giving them an option,
Absolutely.
because they had no options. Before I came to the door, they had zero options. And they looked like they were a little down on their luck, but they were definitely relieved. I could tell.
Good. And you, while you're there, you give the sellers alternative options as well that aren't just necessarily for you or through you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tell them, if you can, try to get this thing, try to get an in buyer, put it out on Craigslist, get a realtor if you can,
Yeah.
uh, try to sell it to the park.
Great.
But here I am, and and when we step in like that, we kind of really are their best worst option, as you tend to say.
I like that term. And the fact that we do help other people, the fact that we do look that we come off as educators, because that's really what we are. We're not going to strong arm anybody into doing a deal with us,
Mhm.
but by coming to them in a way where we're educating them, where we can treat every seller with respect and let them know, listen, this isn't what, your home isn't worth what I'm telling you I'm going to give you, but it's what we can give you. And
Right.
and coming with that sort of mentality to realize that sellers, they're selling one of their most important assets sometimes. Their biggest thing that they have is their home or their vehicle, and and that's great. So now everyone that you've done deals with, you've given them other options, you've given them your options, and long story short is they eventually went with you. Um, yeah. Do you have?
So, sometimes they do end up selling it for, what they wanted, and that's okay. You know what I mean? There's other deals out there. It's fine.
Definitely. That's something I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I'm thinking in the beginning working with you it wasn't the same, but absolutely. I mean there are a lot of sellers out there, and we